So, should you tell your kids to leave you alone? Sure, absolutely. But that just kind of depends on your delivery. I think that we need to teach our kids boundaries, especially if you're a single mom. Like for me, I love being with my daughters, but there's this time between when I get out of work and I walk through the door that I need for myself. And I mean, to be honest, I feel like I need the whole evening to myself, but that's just not feasible, right? We have to show up for our kids. But definitely 5 minutes for yourself before you're dealing with homework or before you start cooking is a game changer. So I used to have this really bad habit of, I have always had very demanding jobs. I work super close to management, and so my days are really intense. And so I would come home with the same energy, the same adrenaline, and instead of taking my clothes off and taking a shower and using the bathroom, I would just literally keep going. I would come through the door, say hi to the girls, look at homework, start cooking, do this, that, and the third, put the laundry on. And by the time I went to bed, not only was I completely drained of my life force energy, I was also bitter, right? Because I was just so exhausted. I was just like, I am a queen. I don't understand why I am living this way. But I realized that and I don't know where this idea came from. So I spend a lot of time meditating and kind of looking within for answers, and it probably came in one of those, moments of, yes, why didn't I think of that before? But we need at least 5 minutes from the time that we walk through the door to the time that we start looking at homework and we're cooking and cleaning again. Us working moms, us single working moms, because I remember, and I always say this, I'm in a relationship now, but I was single when I was going through all of this, and I was just like, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit, And what made it even harder for me is that I felt all of this in the inside, but I would never take it out on my daughters. One, it wasn't their fault. They absolutely needed me. They were younger, and I was fully self-aware and aware of that. But I hated how much energy it took of me to be able to keep that all bottled up inside and show up with a smile on my face. And also, I didn't want to do that to my daughters. My daughters really deserved someone who was genuinely happy within and had her shit together. You know what I mean? And so I learned that asking for those 5 minutes just changed our lives completely. And it really was just one day, I came home and I literally yelled at my daughters. I was just like, I don't know what I said, but I hurt them. And they weren't used to that. But I was just like, I was just so overwhelmed that I really just needed a minute. I wanted to use the bathroom, and they were like, da, 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 da. 2 girls, chatter. And I never wanted to do that again. But I explained to them, I said, listen, when mommy comes home, she needs a minute to herself. I need a minute to just unwind and relax. I said, you know how you guys come home from work and you get to sit and do whatever you want and you get a minute for yourself before you start doing homework and stuff? They were like, yeah. I'm like, well, I need time to do that too. I need 5 minutes. You might need a little more time. You might need 10 or 15 minutes. I knew that 5 minutes was enough time for me because I also didn't want to delay the start of the other bunch of things that I needed to do. So 5 minutes was just enough for me to take my business suit off and use the bathroom if I needed to, rinse off. I always take a shower before bed, but if it's really hot and muggy, when I walk through the door, I always rinse off really quickly before I start cooking. It's just something that I've always done since I was a really young woman, and it has stuck with me through the years. Asking for those 5 minutes and setting that boundary is one of those little things that you would think is insignificant, but it's not. It taught my daughters to respect me. It taught my daughters to respect my time. It taught my daughters that I was human. It taught my daughters that I had feelings. It taught my daughters to be more sensitive towards me. It taught them a lot of things. But it also taught me that it's not that I hated being a mom. I've never hated being a mom. I love being a mom. But when you don't have time to just, bring it down a little bit on your own, you might get that confused. You might be frustrated with your kids, but it's not that you're frustrated with your kids. You're just tired. You just need a minute. You need a minute to shift gears. And so teaching your kids to give you that little bit of window from the time you come through the door after work to the time that you can fully focus on them is going to do that for you. So don't underestimate the power of asking your kids for some personal time. And I would actually do the same thing when I wanted to go out with my girlfriends after work. I would actually, and some of you might come at me for this, but I would literally tell my girls about a week or two in advance of the event. And I would say, is that okay? Yes, I would. That's a topic for another time. But if you're definitely interested in that video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer some of those questions when I post that video. Take care. Bye.